It's the National Football League on EA Sports, where we'll see two of the NFL's oldest and most storied franchises. It's the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Commanders, and it's kicking off next on Madden NFL 25.
Head out about 10 miles or so from the Capitol Mall, and you will arrive here at Northwest Stadium, just outside of Washington, D.C.
Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And before kickoff, Charles, quickly your keys to the game.
Well, partner, I can give you the standard ones: turnovers, special teams play. But here's one that doesn't get talked about much anymore, and that's time of possession. Whoever controls the football, gives their defense a break, and takes care of business, that's the team that's going to win this ball game.
Now the kicker, Brandon McManus, about ready to get us started. And we are underway from Commanders Field. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. Leading them out, their young quarterback, the rookie from LSU.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Throwing right away is Daniels. This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4. Daniels looking to throw. Throw to the right here, taken in by McLaurin. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A gain of 14, first down Commanders.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory.
2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
Well, anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
To throw is Daniels. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive.
Well, every now and then I can speak from experience, because I do know as a defender, it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes, because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
Off the play fake, Daniels.
I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
Oh, here's a fake on the jet sweep, and a give to Robinson.
And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense, because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
Again, it'll be Robinson.
And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go?
He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders. Deebo Samuel, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Commanders are on the board first here this afternoon. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. 6'4" Jordan Love taking the field for the first time. The 2020 first-round pick from Utah State set to lead Green Bay.
And at the start of Jordan Love's NFL career, he had one of the best seats in the stadium watching Aaron Rodgers work. But now he's looking for more than that. Rocket arm, big play potential, and he wants to show this organization that he's capable of being a dependable starter for the foreseeable future.
Love going to break the huddle, lead the Packers up here 1st and 10
at their own 24. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
That's taken in by Kraft.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
2nd down, Jacobs once more.
And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, 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 and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
Throwing, Love.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 44-yard line. Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
Down to the 42, 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2, and that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
2nd down and 8.
Love.
That's complete. He finds Jaden Reed. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 25-yard line.
17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue.
We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're...
And it's a Packers touchdown. 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Packers respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. Well, they said that they wanted to get him involved early, and what a way to cap their opening drive, Charles. We know he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL, and he showcased it on that play.
And when you have a guy like that, you want to make sure the defense sees him early, right? You want to see how they're going to adjust, how they're going to try and guard him, because they can't replicate his speed in practice unless they've got one of the few guys who are as fast as he is. And all it took was one drive. He burned them, and I don't think it's the last time they call his number in this one.
McManus's point after is good, and we are tied at 7. So this drive spans 7 plays, and the result, a Green Bay score. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Now 2nd and 5. They'll run again here with Robinson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
And that is how you respond after taking one on the chin to begin this game. Give up a first drive touchdown, go back out on defense, and completely shut them down to force a 3-and-out.
So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packers offense here coming back out for their 2nd drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Off the play fake, Love. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. That's Deron Payne with a sack that time.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. Play action this time with Love. Wide open receiver complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Hopefully, obviously, nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
On 1st down, they go with Jacobs again.
And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter.
7-7, our score after 1. The Packers with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. To pass, here's Jordan Love. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jacobs. And they'll get this down to the 10. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
They will run the draw with Jacobs. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
From the 5, 2nd and 4. Once again, it's Jacobs. And the second effort gets him in. Touchdown, Packers. Josh Jacobs, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Packers have taken the lead.
And he was excellent on that drive. He deserved to be the one to get across the chalk.
Oh, I agree with you totally. A workhorse on the drive. And how about that last decisive run to punch it in?
McManus now for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told.
And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Josh Jacobs. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. The Washington offense set to take over. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula that got them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe then get this game tied up.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
Rashawn Gary, the man to bring him down.
And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
Down to the 10. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin, 71 yards. And the Commanders are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Gonzalez to add the PAT. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Well, now how about this return? And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Here comes the offense again, and let's focus on Josh Jacobs for a moment.
So he'll be looking to get in the end zone again. Had the touchdown, as you see, last drive on 4 carries. And during the break, we were looking at some of the replays from the previous drive. Really good holes created, great space.
Yeah, I like the observation you had, though, during that break about, okay, they've got to do something to slow down their runners. So is it bringing in more defensive linemen? Is it dropping in extra linebackers? What are you going to do? Personally, I'm going to take my safety and drop him into the box. I'm going to have at least 7 in there until he shows that he can beat me through the air.
Yeah.
I've got to slow down the running game.
I was just going to say, you'll take the exposure in the passing game over the top until you can prove that you can stop the running game.
Sometimes you go cold because you haven't thrown it in a while. Let's see if he can heat up again. Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
Love, they go play action now. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Well, prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game. You know, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it is clicking exactly like they drew it up.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 65 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line.
Deron Payne, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
2nd and 10. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
3rd and 4. Here's Love. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Packers first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Jacobs going to try the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Second down, Jacobs once more.
And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 2 straight runs of 5 yards, 1st and 10.
I know flashy plays, splashy plays, as people like to call them, that attracts a lot of attention. But let's face it, when you're efficient, that can control a ball game. And I love the game plan they've got going right now.
Back-to-back 5-yard gains. Didn't force the ball downfield. Picked it up on the ground.
Yeah, offensive line, they're getting it done.
And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Here's 2nd and 3. Now a toss to the left for Jacobs. There's the stiff arm.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Here's Jacobs. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal.
Love looking to throw it.
Toward the pylon, caught. 5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Love now.
And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown.
Tucker Kraft
from a yard out. And the Packers have moved out in front.
So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
Now McManus for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. So that drive spans 13 plays, and it ends with a Packers touchdown. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Commanders' offense and Terry McLaurin headed back onto the field. And it may be time for this defense to start throwing a second defender his way, because whatever they've done, it has not worked in this first half. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Working out of the gun, Daniels. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down.
That is caught. Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts,
as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Play action, now it's Daniels. Middle of the field, he's got McLaurin. Now the Commanders going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts
as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Here's Daniels. Out route looking for McLaurin. He's got him.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
12 more yards for him there. It's a 1st down.
So in the 2nd quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Throwing now is Daniels.
And that's incomplete.
I know we're just in the 2nd quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his 2nd drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Daniels. Throws the out route and completes it to Samuel.
And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a 1st down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Being chased out left. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown.
Jaden Daniels.
As time expires in the first half.
And the Commanders have a chance to tie the game here in the final seconds of the half.
And this is a balancing act for a head coach with a rookie quarterback. You've got to walk a line with him. You don't want him getting happy feet, but you also don't want to rein in what worked for him in college. And here, he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
Gonzalez good on the extra point, and that will take us to the end of the first half of play. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. Keyshawn Nixon now on the return. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Packers offense and running back Josh Jacobs set to take over once more. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the third quarter. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Packers first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
On play action. Love to throw. Completes it again to Dobbs.
Well, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 36.
They'll run right here with Jacobs.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd and a yard.
Here's Jacobs from the gun. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5.
To throw now. Here's Love. This pass caught. It's Dobbs with it. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
They will run out of the gun with Jacobs, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Working out of the gun. Love. He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Now Love.
This will be caught just inside the 10. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Operating from the gun. Love. And it's caught. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Now McManus will line up for the field goal. Less than an extra point attempt here. This is an 18-yarder. The kick by McManus is good. And with it, they'll take the lead at 24-21. Well, they don't get a touchdown here on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, but I think maybe you still say mission accomplished as they come away with the lead.
No, absolutely. You keep the pressure on, right? You go downfield, get some points up on the board, and hope that you've motivated your defense to take the field and hold that lead.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Commanders' offense and Jaden Daniels getting set for this next possession. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they find themselves down on the scoreboard following the field goal a moment ago.
And I think even though they trail in the game now, I would consider that a win for their defense, and that's probably what they're telling the offense when they get to the bench. Hey, the onus is on you guys now. Get back out there and get us the lead back. Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
From the 33, here's 2nd and 6. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
I know they'd love to take some heat off of that young quarterback, but so far, not much in the running game, and this won't help things either. A loss on that play.
To the air goes Daniels.
And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a 1st down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. A 3rd down, he tried to stay in bounds, did all he could. He caught it, but was led a little bit too far.
Yeah, and that's always difficult, isn't it? Because you know half of your body is trying to stay behind while the other half is reaching out, trying to catch the football. The top half worked. It was the bottom half that was in question.
Great coverage there. Holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Packers offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And as you take a look at the numbers, you have to imagine he was the topic of the halftime talk for this defense. We've got to find a way to slow him down. That's probably what they're saying, but nothing that they have done has worked so far. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Throwing, Love. Short throw, he's got Kraft. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now 2nd and 3. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his 2nd incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Packers first down, although it doesn't appear to be by much. He needed 4, and he got 4 on 3rd down.
Oftentimes we think of those tough yards as grinding yards that a running back has to pick up. How about the tight end there picking up the first down in that situation?
That's what he's there for, right?
Big fella, get it to him, let him fight off some people and pick up the necessary yardage.
Counter play with Jacobs. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
In motion, the tight end Reed. Glove. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now at Commanders Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Washington on 3rd down. They've been outstanding. 7 first downs and 8 tries. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Throw left side complete. That's Reed. And he's going to have a Packers first down. At least it appears that way. And he got it by maybe the length of a football.
They gave him the option there on 3rd and short. Run or pass, you choose. And he decided to fling it out to the perimeter. And that was the right call as they pick up the first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to the running game with Jacobs. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Bobby Wagner, multiple times an All-Pro, in there to drop him for a loss.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
On now is the Packers punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like.
The Commanders' offense set to take over. Their defense accomplished step one of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth-quarter lead.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and make sure he spills it for a small gain.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
Throwing quickly, that's caught by Brown out wide. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
Daniels looking to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have a Commander's first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
To throw is Daniels.
It's complete to Brown, right side.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. It's a first down for Washington on a pickup of 11.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Back to throw again. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Right there, he rose to the occasion late in a close game.
It's something he thought about, dreamed about, and worked on throughout his career. Because in these types of situations, he wasn't going to allow extra coverage to keep him from getting the football.
From the shotgun, it's Daniels. And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete.
At this point in the second half, one mistake on a forced throw could doom your chances of a comeback, so that's the right call there to just throw that one away.
A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Toward the sideline, he will have the first down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet in bounds. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and then completions to use the clock.
He's got the hook up downfield to Samuel.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a first down.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to
fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Xavier McKinney. And the Packers are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line.
Those INTs all sting, but you throw one in the red zone, I think especially as a rookie, maybe it stings a little bit more.
I think what you're saying is they don't all count the same, do they? Right? Interceptions in the red zone that you've given up points now, those are precious. So you have to learn from those and in a hurry.
Here comes the offense again, and let's focus on Josh Jacobs for a moment.
He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's coming together for you. The big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. And you've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game.
On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive.
And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line.
112 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth.
So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off.
5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on 1st down.
And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here.
On the handoff, this is Jacobs.
And he'll get this only up to about the 35.
The Commanders going to use the 2nd of their timeouts.
That'll be their 2nd, so one more chance to stop the clock here, and we'll be back.
Here's 3rd and 6. Here's Love.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete.
Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout
as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On now is the Packers punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Taking it about the 16. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5.
And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. The Commanders' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. Here's 1st and 10.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
He's got McLaurin.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34.
That gets them the first down, but they've still got to move quickly here.
Plenty of time to work with here, but the timeouts, they're gone. Here's 1st and 10.
He'll look to throw.
That throw right side here going to be incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee you he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
They'll come up now on 2nd down.
They'll look to throw.
Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Obviously a big first down right there.
Yeah, they still got to hustle. They got to get up to the line of scrimmage and get set. But I don't think necessarily you need to spike it, but they've got to continue to move quickly.
This is 1st and 10.
He's back to throw. Got a man. It's Brown. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
No timeouts left. Of course, the defense knows that too. Here's 1st and 10. A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
But still need one completion for field goal range.
And just think about what they're going over in the huddle right now. Make the catch, get out of bounds. That's going to be tough to do. So make the catch, get up to the line of scrimmage, and clock it to have one last shot.
Here comes 2nd down.
Back to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds.
So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
So overtime on the horizon, barring a wild finish here as the kick's away. Keyshawn Nixon now going to bring it out of his end zone. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. And we need overtime to decide this one after 4 quarters of play. We're all even. The extra session in a moment. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So the first chance of this overtime will go to Washington as we are back underway. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And the Washington offense heading out.
And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Open man is Samuel, complete. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it's second down.
They go play action. Daniels. Back to Deebo Samuel for consecutive catches.
And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A huge play there in overtime. 42 yards.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10.
On the option, here's Eckler.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
This is 2nd and 8. Robinson, he'll try the left side.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Sets up the screen to Robinson. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, good start for him under center here in overtime, now 3 of 3.
And this is where you have to know who you have playing quarterback. You've got a confident thrower right now, someone who's taking care of the ball, but not being timid as well, and is moving the team downfield. That opens up your playbook and allows you to dial up some big shots if you want them.
It looks like a jumbo set with 3 tight ends here for 1st and goal. Robinson. Oh, he's going absolutely nowhere as he is hit behind the line.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
On the bootleg, it's Daniels.
And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. Wow, Charles, that doesn't just take points off the board, that takes a win off the board.
So now you have to regroup because you've gone from celebrating what you think is a win to trying to figure out how to do it again and make it a win.
Remember, again, a touchdown wouldn't win it just yet, but it can give him a big leg up. It's 2nd down. Again, it'll be Robinson.
And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
I have to laugh a little bit because he actually handed it off. I thought with the 2 touchdown passes he's thrown in this one already, he'd go ahead and fling and try and get a 3rd one.
Yeah, now from this spot on 3rd down, I think he'd probably throw it here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. They won't even send in a running play here, I don't believe. I think they go ahead and try and throw it for a touchdown.
That is caught. Touchdown. They strike first here in the overtime session. Well, to put it mildly, he's been able to dice up this secondary all game long, and this time that was a missile that he threw into the end zone and adding another touchdown to his ledger.
And I think we see these youngsters develop a lot quicker than we ever have, because when they get started in this game, they're not just throwing passes around. They're reading coverages early, so now they're like seasoned pros earlier in their career. How about this one here? If they win this ball game, a game ball definitely coming from his head coach.
Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Green Bay offense ready to take over. Love and the Packers now with a 1st and 10
at their own 25-yard line. First throw in overtime for Love. He finds his man, complete. It's Reed. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
Here's Love. They swing that out wide to Jacobs.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
They need a matching touchdown here to keep their hopes alive. Here's 2nd down. Now Love. Same target. It's Jacobs again.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Again, it's Love. That's complete to Dobbs.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30.
A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a 1st down.
Kind of a dangerous throw there. He's off balance when he gets rid of it. But this is all about a quarterback knowing what he can get away with. And that time, it turns into a completion and a healthy gain as well.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
To pass, here's Jordan Love. Completes it again to Dobbs.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Here's a handoff to Jacobs. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Love.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. That last pass puts him over 300 yards now in the game. More importantly, though, big first down here in OT.
And the team around him has a lot of confidence now after picking up that first down. Everyone seems a little more energized. But did I hear you before the game call in and say, this is my quarterback for your fantasy league? Because he just gave you a good stat, didn't he?
He did, and I appreciate it.
And down here, first and goal, if it's not there, don't force it. You've got at least 2, if not 3 more shots at it. So that's a wise move to get rid of it.
Another shot from the 9 on second and goal. To throw now, here's Love. That ball is caught, it's a touchdown. And now a big decision looming. Go for 1 in the tie or 2 in the win.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money, in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
And now hold everything. This one perhaps not over yet. The officials will take a look at this just to be certain. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Now McManus to tack on the extra point. And his kick is right through. So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they have had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
And they're able to get this one across the 35.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide. And these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Here's a quick throw out wide. It's McLaurin. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them. Robinson up the middle. And he'll get about 3 up close to the 35.
Well, obviously they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now.
Each team's had it in overtime, so next score wins. Here's 2nd down. To the air goes Daniels. Pass complete, Samuel.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
Now a 3rd and 6. Throwing now is Daniels. Pass complete to Robinson.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a fourth down?
Here's Tressway now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field.
And the momentum just continuing to build and build for them. They had the touchdown, their last drive to tie the game. Now their defense does its job, and Charles, all of a sudden, they've got a chance to capture the lead here.
And we're seeing a really nice exhibition of what coaches love to call complementary football. Offense gets a tie, defense does its job, gets the ball right back, and their teammates now have momentum. What a nice job they're doing, all doing it together.
And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just one remaining here at OT.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27. Now Love. Able to connect with Jacobs.
I really like the angles that the tacklers came from on that play. They secured inside, took away the cutback. The sideline's there, so you can only go so far outside, and they were able to close in and tackle him for a loss.
Yeah, they used your boy over there, the 12th man, Sammy Sideline, right?
Sammy Sideline. You know something? He tackles pretty well, too.
He's tougher than an airport steak.
Here's Love. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32.
That was a good effort there trying to do it on his own, but as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you, and if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head.
So better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. This is brought in at the 21. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. A 7-yard return following a punt of 45 yards.
And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
And with just 2 seconds remaining, the timeout is called here in OT.
Here's Daniels.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Oh, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Nate Hobbs.
1 overtime. How about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that 2nd overtime in just a moment.
About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here.
And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. As the fans exit back out through the turnstiles, not happy looks on their faces. Feel like they probably let this one slip away at home in overtime.
I would agree with that, and their unhappiness hurts the guys at the concession stands on the way out, right? Not stopping to buy something for the kids. They just want to get home. But what a dramatic way to finish this bad boy off. I mean, this game was dramatic all the way through. That's why we got to overtime. And then to go ahead and finish it this way, the fans streaming out unhappy. But the team that came in here and won this one on the road, they sprinted to their locker room.
And speaking of buying things, dinner on you tonight, Davis.
I kind of figured that was coming.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Landover.